What's up guys, Cocojobro here, and welcome back to a special Killer Guide edition with the limited edition Demogorgon. That's right, if you guys didn't know, the Stranger Things DLC has finally been removed from the game. So you probably picked up the DLC and wanting to know, hey, how do I improve my Demogorgon gameplay? Well, in today's video, we're going to be going over 4 easy things to help you guys improve your gameplay. So the first thing we're going to go over is the base kit, the killer. We're going to go over just the overall characteristics of the killer. We got to know the strengths, the weaknesses. We got to respect the killer's kit. The second thing we're going to be going over is the killer's powers. So the Demogorgon comes with 2 powers. The first one is a portal that they can set down, and then the second one is a shred attack, which is very strong, as you'll see later on. The third thing that I want to go over is just some strategies and play styles. The Demogorgon can be played many various ways, which makes it a very versatile killer, and I love this little dude. He's super cute, as you can see on the screen. And then the last thing we're going to be going over is some advanced and even some basic beginner builds for you guys. I know some of you struggle in constructing certain builds that work for your playstyle, so we're going to go over there to help you guys with that as well. If you guys know me, I love playing aggressively as killer. I love getting in there and just creating a lot of pressure, and this killer can definitely do it in the right hands and with the right knowledge. So let's get right into it. So if we go right here on the screen, let's go over to the character info. We could see that the Demogorgon is a 4.6 meter per second or a 150% movement speed killer. So survivors, again, they run at 100% and you run at 115%, which is pretty standard for most killers. There's a regular terror radius of 32 meters, and also too, they are very tall. One thing to add to as well is that the demo also has like a stomping sound when it runs too. So if, for instance, if you're playing Survivor and they're using Tinker or some type of undetectable or oblivious status effect on you, you can hear the stomping of the Demogorgon running around the map. So it's pretty good to distinguish that, hey, that's the Demogorgon. Also too, one thing you can as well is you can hear the Demogorgon screaming around the map too. So that's something, if you do play Survivor, to know. There are 3 different teachable perks that the Demogorgon comes with. The first one is the new Fearmonger. That one, I believe, is called Mindbreaker in the past. And mainly what this does is whenever survivors touch a gen, they become blinded and they become exhausted for a certain amount of time until they let go of that gen. The next one is Claustrophobia, which was known as Cruel Limits. Mainly when a generator becomes done, all vaulting locations within 32 meters are blocked for a certain period of time. And then the one that I think is the best is the new Jolt or Surge. And mainly whenever you basic attack a survivor and they go into the dying state, any gens that are around you for 32 meters will be popped for 8%. And they will regress the gens as well. This is super strong, especially if you have like a strong 3 gen, maybe on Badham or the game or whatever, and you knock down somebody, those 3 generators or whatever multiple generators that are near will all pop. So that you'll get some really good value about that. So let's go over to the killer's power now. So the killer's power is Of the Abyss. The Of the Abyss, mainly what you do is if you hold down your ability button, you kind of do like this little scream, like, and you'll tell from the animation, your hands will both go up like this. And mainly what you're able to do is you're able to lunge very far in front of you. You'll be able to catch survivors on windows when they're just jumping. You'll still be able to shred them. When you're getting them funneled down, you'll be able to shred them. This is a very strong ability that can be used in different ways. The other ability that the Demogorgon comes with is portals. So with portals, what you're able to do is you're able to place different portals around the map, and they are invisible to survivors until you go in them and go to the next one. So you can't go into a portal until you have a second one to go to. So what would be good is maybe placing a portal behind a rock that's near a generator, go somewhere across the map, maybe in Killer Shack, at the top of Killer Shack, place a portal there, and then if you know a gen is maybe getting pressured or about to be complete, you can go into that portal and then sneak over there to the gen that's being used. Also too, one thing to notice as well is that when you come out of the portal, that you are oblivious to the survivors for a few seconds as well, so that's really good. With that, let's go into some playstyles. So with some playstyles with the Demogorgon, going back to the ability, you can use your playstyle to be a more aggressive Demogorgon, or you can use it to be more sneaky. And some of the add-ons that the Demogorgon has helps them traverse the upside down world faster, or maybe you can use certain, aggressive tactics to take out survivors. So one thing you can do is you can trick survivors if they're maybe more advanced. When you do your shred attack, you can't attack for a second. So when you're doing your shred and then you let go, you can't immediately attack. It takes a second before you can melee a survivor. So what you can do is, say you're looping around a pallet, what you can do is pretend to shred, and they might veer off to the right or to the left, and that will give you enough time to fake it, go over, and then you'll be able to smack them before they can even drop the pallet. Another thing you could do is just funnel survivors down lanes or down towards the windows. If you know they're looping you around a killer shack or maybe a certain loop and they're going to jump through a window, you can prep that shred around the corner and then be able to dive over there. Now the thing is, if you miss, you're going to hit the wall or an object, and there's going to be a cooldown for about 2 seconds or so, and then you will be able to move again. You do slow down for a little bit because you're a little dazed because you missed the attack, so be careful for that too as well. Another way you can do, like I mentioned earlier, is use certain sneaky perks like Tinker, right? Maybe even Trails of Torment, which is a pyramid head perk where if you kick a gen, you're oblivious to the survivors or undetectable. So what you can do is, like I said, place a trap maybe, or place a portal behind a rock, somewhere where the survivors wouldn't see it, and then go somewhere else across the map. Once Tinker tricks, it'll let you know, hey, this gen's about to get done, it's at 70%, then you can go underneath and sneak up on the survivors from there. There's just different ways that you can play around it. You can be sneaky, you can be aggressive, and we'll go into some play styles with different perks that you can use as well. So let's actually go over to the perks so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So the build that I have right here, I personally think that it's Demogorgon's best build. Now the reason why is because what I really want to capitalize is on these two perks, which is Spirit Fury and also Save the Best for Last. So Save the Best for Last is a super fun perk that if you guys haven't picked it up from Michael Myers, it's a really good perk. Mainly what you do is every time you basic attack a survivor, you get a token. If they're not your obsession though, if you smack your obsession, you lose 2 tokens. But what you want to do is you want to smack survivors who aren't your obsession. And what happens is you get tokens, and every time you get a token, 5% of a decrease is on your attack cooldown. So whenever, when you hit a survivor and then they wipe the blood off or whatever, they do some type of animation, that cooldown gets decreased all the way up to 40% when you have 8 stacks. It's an incredible perk. You're able to smack some survivors. If they try to do something like a body block for a hook save, you can smack a survivor, and if they try to go again and you're at full stacks, you can smack them before they even get their friend off the hook. It's a very catch people off guard type of perk. I love it so much. It's really good on Nemesis too as well. Any type of M1 basic killer, like even Wraith. Wraith's ability is just cloak and uncloak, so they're mainly going to hurt survivors by smacking them. So it's a really good perk. Another one that I want to actually go off of is Spirit Fury. Spirit Fury is from the Spirit. Every time you break a pallet, you get a token. Once you hit 2 tokens at tier 3, the next time a pallet is dropped on your head, it actually breaks and you're able to just go back and smack a survivor right away. So this is really good in the loops. Most of the time, like I said, you could scare survivors by setting up your shred, and most survivors will panic because they don't want to get hit by the shred, so they'll throw the pallet before you can attack them. In that motion, you're already going to attack the pallet. If you're attacking them, they throw the pallet, you're already going to shred the pallet. If you do that 2 times, on that 3rd time, you can just say, hey, screw it, I'm just going to go in for the attack. And if they smack you with the pallet, it breaks and you still get a free attack. So it's actually really, really good. I think it's a really strong perk. Something else you can run with Spirit Fury is Enduring, which is a Hillbilly perk. And Hillbilly has the Enduring perk that when you get hit by a pallet, you recover 40 or 50% faster, which is really good. So it's just like a boom, and you get back up, and then you can break the pallet. And then by the time the 3rd pallet hits, it's like instantaneously, the pallet just breaks, and you go in for the attack. Another thing that is just really good is Barbecue and Chili. This is from the Cannibal, or Bubba. And what this does is every time you hook a survivor, you can see where the rest of your survivors are if they're 40 meters away. And for every unique survivor that you hook, you get 25% more blood points at the end of the game. This is really good. It lets you just mainly upgrade your characters through the blood faster. So if you need more perks, it's a really good perk. Also, too, a really good staple is Ruin. If you can get people to get off of the generators, those gens regress 200% faster at tier 3. Some other ones you can use as well, like I said, the new Jolts or Surge. If you're going to melee survivors anyway with Save the Best for Last, then you can knock off 8% on any neighboring generators. Another one could be good is Pop Goes the Weasel. It's a clown perk. If you kick a gen after you hook someone, you take off 25%, which is really good. This video is going to be released before the artist, so another great perk that you guys can use is Scorch Hook Pain Resonance, and that's the artist's perk where if you hook a survivor on a white hook, then 15% is regressed off of the most worked on generator. So that's a really good way to locate survivors too as well. There's tons and tons of good perks that you can use. Be creative. What's your playstyle? Are you aggressive? Are you more tactful? Are you more sneaky? What do you like to use? Use what you like the best. For beginners, oh wait, let me just go real quick. I want to use these two add-ons. I think these two add-ons are the best to go with Spirit Fury. Mainly, it's the Barb's Glasses. It decreases the Shred Pallet Break cooldown. So when you shred, you do you shred, you jump, you break the pallet. It's gonna you're gonna recover from that animation by 15% faster. And then this one, it decreases the Shred cooldown by 15%. The Black Heart. These are really good perks for brown and yellow add-ons. Really good. There are some other ones that you can use. This one's really good. It reveals the auras of all survivors when you're in the upside down world, which is really cool. This one increases the duration of the undetectable status effect when you come out of the portal for 8 seconds, so you can do some sneaky silent hits. Even doing certain things like that when you're using maybe something like maybe Know-It if you need Know-It, or even Devour Hope would be really good. Sneak up on survivors, boom, get them. It's really good. So yeah, just go through these, see which one that you like the best. There's some that increase the cooldown it takes for survivors to cleanse your portals. The best thing too is while the survivors are cleansing your portals, they're oblivious, so they can't see you, they can't hear you, your terror radius when you're coming up on them. It's really good. All right. One thing I want to do too is give a real quick killer beginner build for some of you guys. And all these perks right here are perks that everyone has. All the killers have it. It's uncommon. It doesn't belong to a certain killer that you need to upgrade to level 30, 35, or 40. So Whispers is a really good beginner build perk because it allows you to find survivors right off the get-go. You'll know they're in a certain area at the beginning of the match, at the middle of the match, during chases, and even at the end game when there's one person or two people left. It's a very good location perk if you don't have barbecue and chili. Bitter Murmur is a perk where if you are new to playing killer, your gens might go really fast and you might not be able to keep up with a lot of the survivors who are just rushing the gens because you're not applying pressure. This allows you to know which direction those survivors are going once the gen is done, and at the end of the game it allows you to locate all the survivors for 10 seconds, so you know where everyone is, you know which door they're going to, you know if they're healing somewhere random in a corner. It just allows you to apply pressure that way. The other one that I like to go over is Sloppy Butcher. This creates a mangled effect where survivors are running a little bit slower, and the hemorrhage effect where they are bleeding a lot more, so their blood pools are bigger, which allows you to track them down if you lose their scratch marks. Always follow the blood, always look down when you're in chases, because sometimes you look the wrong way and you'll lose the survivor because the scratch marks go one way or another. So when in doubt, a little advanced tip: use the blood pools. This perk is No One Escapes Death. This one's a very controversial perk. A lot of people will love to see it go. A lot of people will love to see it stay. My take on it is this perk allows you, once all the gens are done, you can one-shot every person on the field. It's a very overpowered perk that I feel will help you win games, but it won't help you become a good killer. So use this at your discretion. And what I mean by that is that if you are used to losing games over and over and over, but this one perk helps you win games, yes, it does feel good to win, but are you becoming a better killer, or are you just relying on this perk to save the day all the time? This is a perk that rewards bad gameplay, but it's also a perk that pretty much punishes good gameplay on the survivor side. And I really just want to say use this at your discretion, because if you rely on this perk, you won't become a better killer. You won't be able to use certain builds at your full capacity. You will always have to have this here, and then you'll have 3 other perks. And sometimes it's really good to experiment with other builds and other perks that will help you become a better killer, and won't pretty much pull you down in terms of your skill cap of becoming a better killer. It feels so good when you can beat people in the red ranks, or even at higher ranks, knowing that, wow, I actually overcame them and did my best. So my thing for you is, don't be afraid to fail. This is such a deep and overlooked encouragement for you guys. Do not be afraid to fail, and don't compare yourself to other people who are better than you. You are at where you're at right now in your gameplay, in terms of survivor gameplay, in terms of killer gameplay. Just do your best. Try to just put in the time, learn from your mistakes, and just overall have a good time. So I hope all this really helped you guys out. One thing I do want to just go over is gen speed too. If you didn't know, survivors who are on a gen by themselves, it takes them about 80 seconds to get a gen done. If they're with a friend, it'll take them about 44 seconds. If they're with 3 people, it's about 33 seconds. And if they're with a whole squad on one gen, it takes them about 27 seconds to do those gens. So try to manage your time wisely when you're playing as the demo dog. Just do your best to get to use their ability, the shred ability. Hold that shred down. If you hold it down for 65% of 1 second, you can actually lunge and use that shred. You don't have to hold it all the way down the whole time. But really just get to use that ability. Okay, I go under, I come from the upside down, I'm oblivious for a little bit, let me use that to sneak up on survivors. Okay, we're funneling through a hallway, or we're going through Killer Shack, they're gonna go for the window, this is a time to shred. Okay, they're doing certain movements, let me just back off and calm down and think about how I'm gonna get better. So I hope this guide really helps you guys out. I hope you're enjoying the new killer. I hope that you guys actually got a chance to pick it up, because this dude is limited edition now, and he's a cutie, and I love him so much. So anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. I'm definitely gonna be putting out another guide when the artist comes out in a few days, so hopefully we'll be able to get that going for you guys, and also how to counter her, because this girl is definitely scary. I love you guys so much. Hit that like button, subscribe for more future content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.